David Johnston.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And can I put on record my thanks to all of the staff at the schools in Wantage and Didcot who've worked tirelessly through the pandemic to make sure that children and young people get at least some education. I don't think there's a member of this House who doesn't want to see all children get high quality nutritious food and have access to laptops and high quality internet access as well. It's right that the government has spent hundreds of millions of pounds on providing this. But when it comes to remote education, I'm afraid I think that nothing we do could be a substitute for being in the classroom. I don't think if the government provided tomorrow a laptop and the best internet connection in the land to every home, I don't think it would solve the disadvantage gap. I don't think it would deal with the huge mental health crisis we've got coming for children and young people. And I'm not even sure that it would lead to every child getting a full timetable of remote learning. Now, we saw a huge gulf in the remote learning that people got last year, and there were many reasons for that. But one of the reasons that the Labour Party doesn't mention is that when we went into the first lockdown, the largest education union, the National Education Union, put out a statement saying that teachers should not be teaching a full timetable and they shouldn't routinely be marking work. They said we cannot educate children and young people remotely. So whereas the Labour Party would suggest that the only barrier to remote education is about whether the government's produced laptops fast enough, I would say that there's a clear stance taken there, which I don't personally think reflects the view of teachers, but from the leadership of that union that inhibited the remote learning that people got last year. Now, similarly, I think that the Shadow Secretary of State for Education says she wants to see schools open, and I'm completely with her there because I think that's how we tackle these issues. But again, I didn't hear her criticise the 180-point checklist that was produced when we wanted to reopen schools by the same union, as though teaching children on safety grounds, as though teaching children had become like working with radioactive material. And similarly, I didn't hear her criticise the constant drumbeat of stories suggesting that schools were unsafe and they needed to be closed again. Now, I personally think that we've all got to work to get all children back in school as soon as possible. Labour's motion could have been about that tonight. It isn't. But I hope that when we come to reopen schools, they will call out anybody who stands in the way of it. Because as much as children and young people need laptops, they need to be in the classroom most of all.